Yes, we live at Bump That Radio Live. I'm your boy, your host, Ronnie Phunny George, here with my two co-hosts, guests for the day, B. Cole, none other than JG in the building.
What's up, man?
Yes. Comedians in the house.
Right. Yeah, thanks for having me, brother.
Yes, sir. Anytime, man. Anytime. Here
What's
to discuss
cracking, man?
these permanent issues going on worldwide, all across the globe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just making our mark in history. Let's introduce ourselves. A little bit about yourself. You could go first, JG.
Man. Well, I'm JG. I've been in the game, doing stand-up for about 10 years, Been out in Chicago, grinding, stuff like that, Got a little movie coming out. I'm going to talk about that a little later on. And, I'll be writing, producing, doing my own thing.
Yes, sir.
Try to do some sketches coming up.
How long you been doing stand-up?
10 years, I just said that.
10 years. Okay, cool.
You ain't peeped that, did you?
No, I just it's a lot going on. I'm reading the teleprompter.
I just said 10 years, bro. No.
Teleprompter be lying sometimes. I'm going to stop reading the teleprompter. B. Cole in the building, y'all. B. Cole.
What's up, man?
B. Cole need no introduction. Everybody in the world know B. Cole.
I wish everybody in the world lend me $1.
Yes, sir.
I have $6 billion right now.
Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Man, Chicago born and raised, man.
Sir.
Wild Hunnets, man.
Wow.
I'm from the trenches of the Wild.
Yes,
I was so happy when DMX gave us a shout out on this song, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? X gonna give it to you. Much love to the Wild Hunnets. I'm like, we official now. The X put it out there, man.
Peace, DMX.
Yeah, man. Peace, man. And like I said, I've been doing comedy, man, for a minute. Actually, November 25th, Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, it will be my 31st anniversary doing stand-up comedy. Yeah, man, y'all babies.
Right.
Y'all like little toddlers. But yeah, I've been doing it since 19 years old. Started 1991, man, on Black Friday, 1991.
Man, that's crazy.
And been doing it ever since, man. I worked with everybody. Everybody, I came across, man, has gone off and done tremendous, great things with their career and the whole nine and everything. But I always been independent since I started, man, and still independent to this day, and just moving quietly in the game.
Right. Let me ask you a question. What are some of the things that you think are different as far as today's comedians and far as yesterday's comedians? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the main thing is different, man. Now that the internet exists, the world is much smaller now.
Yeah.
So the exposure for stand up comedy, man, it's a huge horizon for it, where now someone can really just be recognized from their living room living in Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? Just doing funny videos, the whole nine and everything.
Exactly.
And then when you get in high demand as far as being an internet sensation video maker, sketch maker, now you want people want to see you live, you know what I'm saying? If that's the route you choose to go. A lot of internet influencers and people who's done got their notoriety on social media. Sometimes they rush out to go do shows, say, hey, I got a following. I got a huge following. Let me go ahead. But it's a craft. You got to practice it, because you can get the numbers, man. You can get the people in the seats, the whole nine. But you still got to have that show, that 45-minute to an hour show to really entertain. And that's the difference today compared back then. Back then, you had some, like, comedians back then, like the old days, like think about the old days of football when cats was playing with no shoulder pads and leather helmets, and you know what I'm saying? And it's just like it's different now. It's more padded for you now. You know what I'm saying? As a comedian, all we had was television. All we had was a couple of channels, and the two comedy vehicles we had for urban comedy was BET's Comic View and HBO Def Comedy Jam. So every comedian, young black comic, was definitely trying to get on there. It was really like a bottleneck. We was just all trying to squeeze in this one door. But now everyone's on TV. But you got a phone, you on television. You know what I'm saying? You make your own TV these days.
Exactly.
That's a good thing, but it's a bad thing in a way. And I'm gonna get reiterate what you were saying, B, because you can't go against the grain. Like stand up is stand up. Like now, if you sitting here doing home videos or comedy and stuff like that with sketches, you could always cut. You can't cut on stage when you're live in front of an audience. You can't say cut if a joke don't go well.
Oh yeah, and
You
I
know-
don't mean to cut you off, but
ahead.
I mean because I'm starting to jump into the reel making, making my reels and sketch comedy, little short skits and stuff, and just the takes alone for that, just to do that, it takes a minute. You know what I'm saying?
It does. Right.
So your advice to a newer comic, would you advise an old school comic to start working on his internet presence?
I mean,
Like myself. What you trying to say, Ron? No.
I always wanted to ask a veteran comic.
yeah, I mean, now I would for a minute, man. Just like anything that's changing out of the ordinary for you, but as time evolves and stuff, it takes time to get into it. So now that myself, I'm actually starting to tap into more internet content and doing that and doing the short videos, and because I used to shoot skits before the internet, and my sketches used to be like today it's considered short films. Like I got an 8-minute sketch. I got 8-minute sketches, 10-minute sketches. You know what I'm saying? So now those today I consider short films. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But for a skit today, that's between 30 seconds to a minute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's considered a skit.
Yeah,
so
short
now
skit.
I'm just really just condensing a lot of my creativity into like a minute now. So I would suggest for anybody who's in the entertainment, take advantage of the internet, social media, simply because you got to change with the times.
Yeah.
And and for a long time I fought that, but now I'm changing with the time.
Me personally, because I feel that, and I think that when you get it's different, like you said, between stand up and doing skits. And now I love to do skits. You know what I'm saying? I done did so many skits, I don't know how many.
Oh yeah, skits fun, man.
It is fun. It's fun. And then when you do it, then you learn, be like, well, maybe I ain't got the audience, or maybe I'm too old and this and that. It's skits for everyone. Oh yeah. Man. Oh, yeah. When you go down the list and see skits, when you be on YouTube, how stuff just pop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
We got our local comedians that's doing well on it.
And I think now it's as far as comedy today and back then, you got to find your internet presence, and just like they say, you had to find your voice for comedy back then. Yeah. Now you got to find your video presence. Like you need both of them. You need content and as well as stand up material.
And my problem with that, man, is like I'm more of a moody person. So, and I shoot a lot of sketches by myself now, because that's the thing about the internet. You can shoot alone. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You can be your whole cast. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can play different parts and edit them like that. But my thing is, like, I'll be in a funny mood, I'll do a sketch. I'll be in a damper mood and do a sketch. You know what I'm saying? But I think what helps me is the sound bites that's given on the internet now. Like when you hear all these TikTok videos and when you see them, you hear the sound bites and stuff like that. It's like, you know what? I can use something. I can do something with that. Not do what everyone else is doing, but let me take this sound bite and do something a little different with it. Exactly. And sometimes that right there be the spark to your idea. Just with them sound bites. So, because everybody's doing it now, man. It's just it's just crazy. But now it's like, how do you stand out from that now? Because you see everyone doing the sound bite, same sound bite, voicing. Like in this new one I keep seeing all the time, and I didn't even know it was from the Dahmer series when they be like, "Hey, I just want to take a picture." You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, calm down. I was like, wow, I see everybody doing it, but I didn't know that was from the Dahmer season.
And then they tell you also, they say, use this sound right here, and you would get more likes and more views. It's just like
your love interest will text you after you play this.
Also with monetizing now Facebook, Instagram, everybody trying to monetize and get you money per views and stuff.
But that's why I come to realize why everyone's just constantly doing content after content. And some of this stuff, like, man, this was unnecessary. Why they doing this? But I know why. It's like, it doesn't even matter right now, the quality of your videos, the consistency and the views you get. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's funny,
they just want to see more of you now.
It's just how many people you attract to your video, even if it's not funny.
It's
some guys, who start off with some funny videos, the whole nine, everything, but they still got to be consistent. And you notice everything they put out isn't funny, but once but people trust you and they gonna click and watch it anyway to see, because from your prior content you put out,
like Country Wayne, for instance. Now I follow him. I still follow him. I followed him when he first started, when he had like a few thousand. Now he's up on damn near 1 million views.
Yeah.
And he doing well. He eating good off of that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So. You never know, and he had like, it's many stories, you know what I'm saying? He'll break it up to like 4 or 5 minute segments on there.
Which is good.
Which is good. Like he's making a mini movie. You know, he got like 2 or 3 different characters that they got like mini movies, and that shit is dope.
And also you have to wait. You used to have to wait for casting calls like Living Color and all that. So now it's like, just get on your phone. Like you said, B, just get on your phone, start editing, put on a few different outfits. You got your own Nutty Professor now. You know what I mean?
It is. And you know the difference right now, today, it's like, man, when I started doing comedy, like back in the day, in the 90s, man, Comic View, HBO Def Jam, they used to come out, they used to travel around the country, they used to scout comedians. And, and they went from that to, okay, just turn in a VHS videotape, film it, and now it's like, let me just stay in my office and cut on the internet and see who's out here popping. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as they get on social media, they seeing who's out there. And then those are the ones who get the phone calls and opportunities, the whole nine and everything. So really your content, what you put out, that's your audition every day.
That's it.
Because you never know who's watching, man.
Right.
Now, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, though?
As far as
because you got so many good comedians that got talent, but it's not recognized. Minus the mediocre comedian may be all right.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, man.
Yeah.
If you live in a neighborhood that got nothing but fast food restaurants, and then you ain't got no car to get out the neighborhood, but you want to eat, that's all you gonna eat is that fast food. But if you take a journey, man, go ahead, catch you an Uber, some public transportation, go down up the road where the fancy restaurants at, where you get you a nice gourmet meal and stuff.
Nice
you know what I'm saying? Them steak, potatoes, and stuff like that is there. But the thing is, a lot of them restaurants don't do what the fast food chains do. They got the commercials, they got the jingles, they got everything that's going to attract people. You know what I'm saying? You see Popeyes, man. Our people are amazing, because all what sparked that Popeyes chicken sandwich, just a dude came out to Popeyes with a sandwich in his hand dancing and saying how good it was, and everybody and
it went crazy.
It went crazy, man. People lined up down the block. We
killing
saw that.
people.
You saw that. People got killed in line waiting on
chicken
man.
sandwich.
The power of the internet.
Yeah, and then right now you can't even find a line at Popeyes today for that damn sandwich.
You can't. No,
you know.
It's the power of the internet. Power of the internet. I want to get into some credits right quick. We bumped that radio. Download the app. We could be reached at 872-766-2867. The best choice, hip hop, R&B, and smooth jazz. That's Bump That Radio. I'm your boy, star and host Ronnie Phunny George, with my co-stars, my guest for the day, B. Cole, the filmmaker, the stand-up comedian, the writer, the actor.
That's right.
And my boy JG just finished his film, y'all. We're going to get a little to that. Want to take a commercial break right now, pay some bills. Holla. One. Two special guests.
Bump the radio, don't bump the DJ, because the music is skip.
Be cold.
But you bump the radio, staying on.
Getting it in, y'all. What's up? What's up, Radio Land, podcast world?
All right.
Who that in the office today talking about comedy? You feel me? Yeah. We just doing what we do. Shout out to my man P.O. and Bump That Radio. We coming for you. Let's get into this stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's
what
the life, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Legends,
you know what, comedians, man, I tell I tell everybody, promoters and all that, like, look, man, comedians out here, we working. We live off deposits and balances. That's all we are. That's what we do. We live off. You got to understand that, man. Like, dude, how important the deposit is,
right?
And definitely important that balance. You know, you got to get at the show, but that's what we live on: deposits and balances. That's what keep me going. You know,
crazy you brought that up, man. I'm waiting on the deposit right now, so I can go put the balance, make my balance right.
Exactly, man. So
why do they treat us like we the last thing on the totem pole when you have a comedy show? They got every goddamn excuses to pay the comedians. Goddamn, I gotta pay the DJ, I gotta pay my wife, kids, all that. But look here, I owe the lady some money on some liquor, man. Shit, I done ran a tab.
And not only that, tabs. Right. Man, y'all coming down my street, man. Right. You
done ran up some tabs.
Right.
Not only
hell yeah, I did. You ain't giving no money? Okay, I'll run this bitch up.
But what's crazy is sometimes we the hired entertainment and we show up to these shows to perform and then got to pay for our own drinks and wait. Like, I like to have a drink before I perform, right?
Right.
At least a shot or something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just take the little edge off. And then sometimes it's like we hire this entertainers. Then I got to wait behind 50 regular people who just there. Like, it should be some kind of clause, man. Like, man, y'all got to look out for y'all comedians.
It is. It ain't just, it's just the locals.
Well, here's the thing. What they respect more is protocol.
Right.
Now, here's the thing, man. Like, throughout a lot of early in my career, I always had representation. Right. I didn't used to talk to nobody. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They talked to, my person who played the asshole. Okay. Like anything that was like, man, be cool, but man, his manager, man, that motherfucker asshole. Okay. But but them not knowing that the message is coming from me through them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I need this, I need that, but you translate it through someone.
Okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Where, you always gonna be looked at as the entertainment, and they respect you as that, but they gotta respect your business. And whatever you want, you demand it. But see, I don't have I have a management team now.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So but it's before I got this new management team, it's been a while. I've been representing myself. But at the same time, I still don't let nobody take advantage. You know what I'm saying? You got your dignity, integrity, man, and you have to stand strong on that and know your worth.
So are you saying that sound like you're saying they respect you more when you got somebody over you or speaking for you?
A mouthpiece.
Yeah, absolutely. Because here's the thing, they can't get to you. Okay. They can't get now. The value of your star power is tremendous, because when you walk through that door on show night, the first time they ever saying anything to you is that night.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And prime example, like shout out to Curtis Shaw, GM over at Laugh Factory. But Curtis even put a post up. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but he put up a post like, Chicago comedians need representation.
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah,
and that's the thing. And he's coming straight from that, where I'm talking about, where it's like, man, if I can deal with proper protocol and real business, I can respect the comedians more.
Because there's a lot of us. I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, I don't have representation. You got representation?
Somewhat.
See, I don't. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So everything I have to book, I have to go out there, do all the footwork myself. And I think what you say is 100% accurate, B. Because if you have that representation, you could get that. You ain't got to talk to nobody. Ain't no negotiation. It's either here or there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ain't no middleman. I'm the middleman. Ain't no talking to him. You got to talk to me before you do anything. Or talk about anything.
Get you some representation, and whoever's representing you, man. Of course, that's how they make their money. They get a percentage off the shows, and that'll make your team, your management, your team, however, go after getting shows for you, because they make commission off that.
Right.
So it's like, man, how you get paid is what what you hunt, you eat. Right. And with me, it's like, if someone called me up for the show, and if I decide that I want to just keep this for myself, like, you know what, I handle this myself. It's no problem. I got time. I can do it. Boom. But if it's something I don't want to be bothered with, here, call this number, speak with this manager, the whole nine, everything.
Right.
So I don't send everyone to my management team, but it's certain people that you have to.
That you don't
like, because a lot of
them.
comedians produce their own comedy shows. Like I said, Ronnie here do a show and ask me to do a show, I'm not gonna send them to, like, here, go send boom, boom, boom. And sometimes with a lot of comics who you work with a lot, you don't even discuss money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you just know the game. You know how it is. It's like, yo, I see what you're doing, and
showing love,
showing love. But at the same time, if you're doing good, be fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If you sell out, gotta
right,
you know what I'm saying?
gotta break them off.
Yeah,
I was always fair when I did my shows and stuff because I felt like, man, I know how it is. You know what I'm saying? You walk in there, just show sold out. You went up there, you did your job. You performed, you gave them 10, 15, 20 minutes of thunder. Then you walk out there with $40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's terrible because you looking like, but you know, sometimes you got to negotiate. But a lot of these, like you were saying, a lot of these promoters, you know, people who running the show or want to throw the show, they don't want to give you a budget because they really don't know if the show gonna sell out or not.
Right.
So they figure, well, you know, let me say this because I give you $100.
But here's the thing: you give it to them once,
right?
Because on the sake of like, yo, man, you my dude. I see what you're doing. Boom. All I ask is that with me helping you grow, when you do grow, make sure I'm growing with you.
That's it. Exactly.
That's it. Right. So I give them that one time. So then the next thing, when they have a successful show, then I see them having continuous successful shows. Then when they come to me that next time, I'm like, all right, cool. Now it's time to discuss budget.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
Right. I got you.
You know, I was there from the ground up. I was there to help you get up. I see you up now.
Yeah.
So let's discuss business now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just on that. But I'm always a guy who always give a new person, a new promoter, anything a shot. Because like for one, big ups to promoters because they provide work for us comedians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you providing the work and you're hiring, that's cool. But all I just ask for promoters, even comedians who play the promoter side, just be fair.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And what I realized lately in doing shows, I notice it's certain type of shows I don't like doing. I don't like doing shows for people who trying to make money off comedy. I realize what a problem come in at.
Yeah.
You trying to make $1 off a comedy show and off comics. Yeah. I don't like that energy because now you'll start hounding me for silly stuff. Did you share the flyer? Did you call these? And it's like, look, I only like performing and doing comedy when it's lucrative, when it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So when a promoter got to make money, that puts a different dynamic on comedy.
They want you to be the comedian and a promoter.
Yeah, it's like you killing comedy, trying to exploit it and hustle off of it. Comedy is a gift from God. You know what I'm saying? Laughter is a gift from God.
That's true.
If you doing this for any other reason other than bringing people a laugh or a good time, then
you're in the wrong business.
You killing comedy.
Right.
If you want to make money, go do something else. You know what I mean? Get a job. Like comedy is not.
Right.
There's a lot of new comers I was talking to, and you know, I was like, so what's your goal in this game? Well, you know, certain I ain't gonna say the names, but they's like, I just want to be famous. I was like, well, you got a long goddamn way to go. You got to be funny first, and then you got to have a love for the game. Like you say, if you ain't got the passion first to do it, because it's gonna be a lot of bumpy roads. It's gonna be ups and downs. It's times you want to quit. Hell, I didn't quit comedy. I was like, I ain't doing shit for like 4, 5, 6 months.
But you have to be careful what you ask for because being famous, that's cool. But man, it's gonna be a time in your life when you don't want that. Now, fame and fortune, those are two separate things. I will always want to take that fortune, man, and damn that thing. Now, I had fame in the '90s. Oh yeah. Now we go back to BET's Comic View, like I said, before internet, the whole nine. The only outlet for stand-up comedy, like I said, you had HBO on BET, but with Comic View, they reran every episode all week, every week. They reran me on there so much where I became a household name everywhere I went, man. Right. It was crazy, and it's like, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't.
You said you don't like?
I didn't like. No, I didn't like the fame. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a lot of people always ask, "What B. Cole, man? What happened to B. Cole?" B. Cole stepped out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was never the top. I'm a private person, and I know the fame comes with it. But today, with the internet, the whole nine, this type of fame, man. Yeah. No, I'm good. I rather just be real low key. Yeah. Flying under the radar.
It's definitely a different type
You know what I'm saying?
monster.
Yeah. I go under the radar because now it's like, man, people just they look to build you up, ready to, you know, chop you down at the same time. You know, because they want to see you succeed, but they also want to see you make that mistake at the top and stumble.
Like they did Tiffany Haddish, you know.
Exactly. But you know, then at the same time, you got to watch your moves too because Tiffany brought that on herself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she getting picked on or whatever, but man, once you put something out there, you're gonna have to face the consequences. Oh yeah. So you gotta watch your step, every move. More fame you got, less private life you have. And like I said, I had to get away from that. Right. You know, right before the internet blew up.
I don't think you should be judged on certain things, though. If you did some shit 15, 20 years ago, well, if it's not hurting the people, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got drunk at a club, or you had a fight, or you got into it with a person, little minor stuff like that, you know, people, you know how when you get in trouble, they really want to dig dirt to find more.
Yeah.
In this day and age, well, life always been like that. When they drag you, they really gonna drag you.
And you got to be
I don't
careful
think you
too.
should be like that.
You
do. Because there's certain moves you just can't make. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
sir.
hey, man, I ain't gonna do that.
Some
You know
stuff
what I'm
is
saying?
tasteless too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Some
Right.
stuff just tasteless.
But see, with me starting at 19 years old and not having the social media, not being in that world, that was perfect for me. Now me at 50 years old, more mature,
Right.
more level headed, less hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I really
Yeah,
just literally go do my shows and go
Go
home.
home.
You know what I'm saying? Or go back to the hotel or whatever, man.
Right.
And it's like I don't do the after parties, none of that stuff.
No.
I'm not that young dude anymore.
Right.
But I was doing that before there were camera phones and all that.
Right, so it's a lot of
I can imagine if cameras was on me back in 1996. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
97, where it's like, hey, you know,
man.
they're still following me to this day. So,
sir.
like I said, man, it's like it's real crazy, and I feel for the younger comics that's in their 20s and coming up, man, because you gotta be careful. You gotta watch your steps. This shit gonna follow you forever.
Oh yeah, so it's definitely time and to recognize and realize what you're doing, because we all entertainers at some point, and you stay in front of the cameras, in front of the media some way or another. So you really got to be careful. A video or a skit you did 10 years ago
Will come up and bite you in the ass.
Man,
at the wrong time, too, right when you're about to accept that Grammy. They
that's what I'm saying. Like that's when it's
excuse
back
me,
in.
sir.
That's why I'm glad we didn't have this back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine you still being recognized for something you did? Like, man, you went viral in '83, man.
Right,
you shitted on yourself in the McDonald's drive-through. You know, it was on camera. You know,
You shitted on yourself in school.
That's why we definitely got to be careful.
Right.
I want to take a commercial break right now and give y'all some time to get you some popcorn and get you a drink or something. We'll be back more with independent films and stand-up comics and Universal talk trash talk from Chicago. So holla at your boy Productions. P.O., you could go ahead and stop that thing right now. And if you want to, you could keep on.
Your neighborhood ain't shit. Anything loose. You ever been over your auntie house? She send you to the corner store for 4 loose eggs. You be like, God damn. How the fuck I'm about 4 loose eggs with $1, auntie? Shit. She talking about they come already boiled too. Already boiled. How the fuck you gonna buy 4 loose eggs already boiled for $1? This some bullshit.
We back.
Yo, once
Yes,
again.
got a bunch of filmmakers in the building. Y'all already know how we do it. You know
Little
what I'm
something,
saying?
something.
action.
If they thought stand-up comedy was gonna hold us down, y'all completely mistaken. You know
Hell
what I'm saying? 'Cause
no.
we venturing out.
Yeah, you got to, man.
baby.
Yes,
Shit.
movies on the rise. We trying to get Netflix deals.
You gotta-
Yeah, nigga, I'm finna do OnlyFans in a minute. Keep fucking with me.
That's funny.
You gotta elevate yourself, man. You have to. If no one else is gonna do it for you, you gotta do it for you, man.
I saw you on the talk show because I wanted to bring that up. I saw you on the talk show. It's 2 white ladies. It's like Good Morning America. So I don't know the name of it. But
Yeah, it was something like more with Gene Sparrow and the other lady.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
She's black, you know that, but
Is
Gene
she?
Sparrow,
Yeah,
she's
she's
just
very
real
black.
light skinned.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
all.
light skinned and
Yeah, I
dead.
saw you on the talk
Yeah.
show. And I was just like, wow, you got such a moderate like history of doing stuff, you know. And people don't know when they see comedy or hear comedy, they just think stand up and jokes. But they have no idea they come with talk shows that come with a lot of experience, a lot of like radio publicity, just a lot of different stuff, man.
Yeah, any platform you can get on
Yes.
as an artist, you should take advantage of it. And
Yes,
do it, man.
indeed.
There's so many podcasts out here, man. Like anyone asks me to do their podcast, I'm going to do it. If they don't even have a lot of followers, if they be like, man, I only got like 100 followers, and guess what? That's 100 people, new people gonna know who I am.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it's like because a lot a lot of guests or a lot of artists, man, they probably don't even accept podcast interviews because they look at your following.
Yeah,
they're like, man,
that's
you ain't
true.
even got enough people on
Right,
there.
okay.
But see, you got to start from somewhere. It just don't automatic unless you celebrity, like you a mega superstar. It just jump into the game. But if you're the average Joe, you still got to start from
But
zero.
I think as even me as a mega superstar, I still would help the underdog.
No,
You know
I'm not
I'm
saying
I would
what you
still
wouldn't
help
do,
the young
right.
guy who's trying to make it, because I've been there and I'm there, so I know what it is. And like I said, what makes a podcast or any type of show is all about the guests. Like I said, so like you have a guest on your show that brings 1 million followers with them. Guess what that's gonna do for your show?
Exactly.
I remember when I used to be a personality on a show called the Daryl Cook Show on Soul 106.
I was a guest on this.
Yeah, you was a guest, and we interviewed a lot of known people.
Comedians, everybody.
The biggest we interviewed was Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So when we interviewed Louis Farrakhan, that was huge. You know what I'm saying. And when that made us more official, because Farrakhan brought everybody who followed Farrakhan was tuning into that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told Juanita from Champaign I would take her question. She wanted to ask you, B. Cole, who are who inspired you in comedy? What's like one of your biggest comedian names that inspired you to do what you do as far as movies and stand-up?
It's crazy because the story with that is that one day I was sitting down before I even started doing comedy. I was like 18 years old and probably 17. Dang. But at the same time, me and my friend, we was watching this comedian on TV and we didn't know his name. We didn't know nothing about him. But he's like, this dude funny. And this is before he went off and did all the big stuff he's done. This was his very first HBO one night stand. It was a 30-minute special. He wore all black, and then my friend turned.
I already know who it is.
Friend turned to me and said, "B, he reminds me of you." And I
know who he is.
I was like, I was like, really?
I know who he is.
I said that. I said, you see this guy and you see me. He's like, B, that dude reminds me of you. And kind of,
Sinbad.
No, close though.
No, who you think? Who?
Damon
Wayans.
Really?
Damon Wayans.
Okay.
So when I saw Damon Wayans, I was like, wow. I said, that's it. That's what I want to do. And I've been a big fan of Damon. I was a fan of Damon, like I said, before even that special, because I saw him on Robert Townsend, Partners in Crime. When he only did like 3 to 5 minutes. He did like 5 minutes and like solid. But now he went from there. And at that time, we still didn't know he wasn't a household name, but he went from there to a 30 minutes special, and he was doing all them characters he did on Living Color in this special, like Anton and all them. So I was like, okay, and he did the whole more money on that. Right. So from there, he went to doing Living Color, the whole nine. So I was a big Damon fan, and then when I actually met him. I met him here in Chicago at Evergreen Plaza. It was one morning, he was on WGN News. He was doing a book signing at Evergreen Plaza. So, man, I rushed down there, and I actually got the book and got in line, but security recognized me, said, man, come on, man, get up front. But before that, I ran into Damon as he was coming out the bookstore to go to his table to sign books, and he recognized me. He's like, man, I know you.
The plaza downstairs. What's the name of that bookstore? Everybody went there.
It was Barnes and Noble.
There you go.
It was Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
So when Damon came out of Barnes and Noble to walk to his table, I cut him off in his path, like, yo, what's up, Damon? I'm a big fan. He said, I know you, y'all. Man, he said, I watch Comic View.
Right.
And I was like, man, I was thrown. I told him, I said, man, you my mentor. I look up to you. He's like, yeah, right. He wouldn't believe me.
But to meet your mentor?
Yeah. And then
that's big.
But not only that, come to find out, me and this man's birthday is on the same day, September 4th. You know what I'm saying? So I felt the connection right there. I felt the connection right there. I said, that's what it is. Me and this man is September 4th, both Virgos, and we do comedy. And that's why I gravitate to that man. You know what I'm saying? To this day, man, Damon has always been my favorite comic, and he's brilliant in his writing and everything. So, yeah, I'm a student. I'm a student of the man.
What's one of your best specials, comedy-wise, our specials? Like, what's one of your best? I asked you too, G.
Well, I mean, if we want to go back, I mean, we could stay on the topic of Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans got one of the best specials called "Still Standing." That's on HBO. Still Standing. In 1990 he did a special called "The Last Stand," where he said, "I'm retired from comedy." At the end of the comedy performance, he threw the mic down on the ground. It broke, but then he went off and started doing movies. That's when he did The Last Boy Scout and started doing. But then he came back to comedies called Still Standing. When he did Still Standing, bro, it was straight classic, explosive. If anyone hasn't seen Damon Wayans Still Standing, please see that special.
Oh my God, I think I gotta see it. Well, is that bad if I ain't see it?
Yeah, you got. And what's so crazy, I don't even watch specials today. Right. I don't watch anyone's specials today. I don't know why, but it's just like, me being in the game so long, stuff like that. And then
I think they throw, not to cut you off, I think they throw specials to people like not really well known. Because back in our days, like you say with Damon and stuff, you have to have some type of you have to be a certain type of level to get specials. Now, I think Netflix is kind of throwing specials. I'm kind of agreeing with, certain people that about, how they throwing Netflix, just throwing shit to people you never heard of.
Netflix, it's all in the numbers, though. It's like it's not even a name no more. It's numbers.
Yeah, it's numbers.
So when they see the numbers, like for instance, man, rest in peace, my man David Arnold. David Arnold had his Netflix special, and he was about to really excel further from that, but unfortunately, man, he lost his life. But at the same time, no one even a lot of people didn't know who he was. Yeah, but he's done good with numbers. If you went to David Arnold's social media, the whole nine, that's what all these execs now look at, your social media following. And stuff like that. They're gonna give you a Netflix special according to your following. Right. That's why a lot of people have to understand, for comedians, that we need the followers. We need people to we need them numbers for Hollywood to take a look at us and give us that shot. For Netflix to look at us and be like, okay, cool, he got a following of 100,000 people.
So that's why it's kind of, you have to be independent and get the numbers before they even, because Hollywood right now, they not trying to make you. They want you to already be known.
It's a gift and a curse, right?
Right? Yeah. So they kind of want you to be known.
There's no more making stars. You make yourself.
You got to make yourself.
Because here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. They always say that they only take about 4 or 5 black comedians and run them for the next decade. For the next 10 years.
I believe that.
Then what they do. But as a black artist or a black entertainer, comedian, however, you have to work your way up to the top of the barrel, because once Hollywood comes looking for the next one, all they're gonna do is remove the lid from the barrel and take who's off the top and close the barrel back.
Exactly.
So you have to work your way up to the top.
The game is
you know what I'm saying? And once you hit that top, then that's when they see you.
So let me ask you this: out of all the entertainers in America, you don't think we could all put our resources and money together and make our own Hollywood, like Black Hollywood?
Yeah, of course.
I think, but
you're not the first person.
I know I'm not the first.
It's just like, man, it's talk.
That's a good question, though.
But it's talk, but no one's making action of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why my thing is always, I always went by this when as an entertainer, even when young, man, it was code. Demonstration is better than conversation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People can talk about it all day.
Don't talk about it, be about it, right?
Exactly. But when you start demonstrating and putting into action, then that's when the things work. Man, we've been talking about this for decades and decades.
And why you think it never went anywhere?
Yeah.
Because you know why? I think because we don't have the control of everything. Like when Robert Townsend did Partners in Crime, he did Hollywood Shuffle and this and that. But guess what? We have to ride on the vehicles that the Jews that they set. They set the platforms. We're riding on their stuff.
Did he say Jews?
Right. Like it's like Jews become a scary word now. You got to whisper like, yeah, when the Jews.
Hey, remember what I was saying?
When the Jews got involved.
Now remember what I said? Something they see years ago and years in the future. You better watch what you say. But no, you know what? I think me personally, it's too much money that a lot of our people have that we can sit there and cut out the middleman.
We some powerful people.
Yeah,
man.
we are. Like, okay, like let's talk
about it. They just gave this man $30 million just for some footage he had laying around for the last 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
30 million. Then you
Footage.
got Oprah a billionaire.
But here's the thing.
Hold on.
But when you get people like that
crazy.
who get that 30 million stuff like that, it's their responsibility to say, okay, let me go back and get my people. Let me go back and get some people. Boom, boom, boom. But once people hit that success level, then they gone. It's like, man, because this has been a lot of people who I helped over the wall, and they didn't throw a rope back over to get me over there. You know what I'm saying?
They let you drown.
Like I'll lift people up, put them over the wall, and then they once they get on the other side, they just take off running. I'm like, yo, where the rope at?
Each one teach one, and that's how it goes.
So once they throw the rope back over, then that's when changes will be made. But no one's throwing that rope.
Small announcement. Bump That Radio Live. Hey, we playing hits, man. R&B, smooth jazz, hip hop, whatever you name. And we all got a segment where callers could actually call in and ask questions. 872-766-287. B Code, JG, filmmakers, producers, screenwriters, stand-up comedians, all in here. Holler at your boy. Yes, sir. We back from commercial break. Chi-Town legends in the building. Yes, you already know what it is. Filmmakers in the studio. Feels good. Feels good to be around greatness. You hear me? We got a question for JG. You get right into it. No time to waste. Somebody wanted to know about you. They asked me, Cole, I think already, about his favorite stressful one. Somebody want to know who was your favorite comic who inspired you.
Ooh. Actually, I have two. My first one is Bernie Mac.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a shocker.
That's a shocker. But hey,
Fucking look like he spit you out, man.
everybody say that shit. But no, because he was Chicago and he's like
he funny on stage. So those who never saw JG is funny as hell.
Yeah.
Man.
See,
I love this guy.
What it is that like I know I just love Bernie because Bernie was just burning, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, when he come on stage, he talk to you just regular, and just, hey, what's up? Everything good,
You ever met him before?
What? Come on.
Did he say
Bernie?
Damn.
What?
Did he say son?
Did he say,
hey, little motherfucker look like me now? Yeah, I met Bernie a couple times.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
But I'm going to tell you who else I used to love, too. And he was, he passed away before his time, was Robin Harris.
Yes.
Dang.
Robin Harris.
Rest in peace.
That was one of my favorite HBO special. Stand Up Hour special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
now,
that was my favorite.
Another Chicago great.
Yeah.
Robin Harris, he died here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Right at the Regal Theater after his performance. He went back to the hotel and he
passed
died.
away.
Really?
He had sleep apnea.
But Bernie, Bernie, of course, was influenced by Robert too as well.
Right.
And Bernie, he was able to step right into them shoes.
Yeah.
And be that. But like I said, it's funny because like with Chicago, period, a lot of people be like, man, you sound like such and such. You sound like such and such. Bernie sound like Robin Harris. I'm like, no, Bernie just sound like Chicago. A lot of people tell me I sound like R. Kelly. Like, dude, you sound like R. Kelly. Like, no. I just sound like Chicago.
You know,
this was how Chicago
talk. Now I'm going to tell you something, B. Remember, well, you know how we be outside talking and stuff? And I used to talk about, I wanted to do Bernie's, the intro and stuff like that.
Right.
But I didn't want to be, people thinking that I'm trying to be Bernie. And then you said, JG, do you, whatever you feel comfortable. It's like, because Chicago need that. They miss Bernie. They miss that love from Bernie, and everybody calling you that. So just go ahead and
embrace it.
Embrace it.
And like I said, even if you open up your show, just reminding them of Bernie, and then you get into who you are. That's cool. Let me give you a Bernie Mac story, man. Like when Bernie Mac was the very first comedian to introduce me to the stage. When he introduced me to the stage, I was already doing comedy for 6 months, but he wasn't. But when I was doing it for 6 months, it wasn't an actual comedian. I was doing a variety show at the South Shore Culture Center. Right. And every Friday they had a thing called The Studio, and they had a variety of shows, singers, poets, comedians. So it was this guy, Don Harper. He was the host. But he was just the MC. He wasn't a comedian. But I was there for 6 months doing well, and he told me, like, man, go see this guy, Bernie Mac. You got to get out of here because you're here every week, but you need to expand. So he said, go see Bernie Mac at the Cotton Club. So when I went to go see Bernie Mac at the Cotton Club, I performed, and I bombed. That was my first time bombing in 6 months, and man, I left that club crying, and man, I got pulled over by the police that night and stuff on the way home.
You had a bad goddamn night.
Snot bubbles in my nose and stuff with the flashlight in your face.
You done turn red, huh?
But let me fast forward. So time went on and stuff, and I used to tell Bernie all the time. I'd be like, Bernie, I'm gonna catch up with you. And Bernie just look at me like, man, give me that look. And then I'd be like, Bernie, I'm going to catch up. I think I did it to him 3 times. That third time I did him, it was the third time I said it to him, it was at the House Party 3 premiere. We did, it was the House Party 3 premiere here in Chicago. And at the after party was at the Cotton Club. And then it was like, okay, there's Bernie, there's opportunity. I'm about to go tell him again. I'm about to catch up with him. I was just like taunting Bernie and shit.
He had a script.
I was taunting. I was like, there he is. And I ran to him. I was like, hey, Bernie, I'm gonna catch up with you. And then this time at this after party, Bernie's like, catch up with yourself. And I was like, but I heard the inflection in his voice. I heard that all them years of him doing it for 20 plus years and grinding. I heard all that in that one statement. Catch up with yourself. And I heard the anger, and I heard all the struggles. I heard the 20 years of struggle this man beat the. And you got, granted, I've been doing comedy for like 2 or 3 years. So you got a young comic at 2 or 3 years telling you, a veteran who's been doing it 20 years at that time, that you gonna catch up with him. He got tired, man. He got tired of me telling him that. He's like, man,
tell you to shut the fuck up, right?
Exactly. But he's like, catch up with yourself.
Right.
But wait a minute. Here's the irony of it. Check this out. Check this out. In 2020, during the pandemic, when we were still doing comedy shows while everybody was still in the house, we were still sneaking doing comedy shows in little spots and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It became this little underground thing. Okay. And I met this young comic here, Devin Jarvis. I don't know if y'all know Devin Jarvis. No. I didn't know him at the time, but in 2020, doing that, he came up to me like, "What's up, B Cole?" Like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Hey, B Cole, I'm gonna catch up with you." I was like,
catch up with yourself.
I'd have said that first.
But when he said that, it just like, wow, just look how it cycles. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? Me telling Bernie that. And now I'm 20 years in, and I got a young comedian doing it. You that. Same thing. I'm gonna catch up with you. Wow. You know, and so bad I wanted to be like, catch up with yourself. but I was just speechless. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But you gotta, you know what, B? You gotta take the arrogance.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him have it. Catch up with yourself.
You gotta think the arrogance of a new comedian to walk up. I would have been petrified to sit there and say that to Bernie.
But dude, like, that's what I'm saying. That's the confidence as a young comedian. That's what I had, though.
That's good.
I had that. But he humbled me real quick with that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Catch up with yourself.
Right,
and I'm like, oh shit. It was loud in front of everybody.
Right. Hey, look.
I whispered it to him. Bernie, I'm gonna catch up with you. Catch up with yourself. Everybody want to know what Bernie talking about. What Bernie? Oh, who he talking to? He talking to that little nigga over there.
That little light skinned dude right there, turning red. With his right. Little light skinned nigga, right?
I was red as your sweat over there. Swear to God.
that is
Swear to God.
Catch up
funny.
with yourself. A Bernie Mac story. Damn. That was amazing, man.
I told Birdie he my favorite. Before he even passed, I told him that. So I'm glad I had an opportunity to tell him that.
That's good, man.
And I was like, man, you my favorite of all time. You are my GOAT. I told him
That's
before
awesome.
he passed.
That's awesome. And it's good when you able to tell him that. Because like
Yeah.
I said the
I
same
felt
thing to
good.
Damon Wayans. I
Yeah.
did the same to Damon. So like if anything, Damon knows that. Every interview I do, such as this one, every interview that I've been on, I always told my Damon
Now, I wasn't
story.
doing comedy then, but I still told him he was my GOAT because even though you don't have to be a comedian to love who you love. You know what I'm saying? Because you love who you love because that's who they are. You know, that's the person. Like,
But
man.
you gotta look at it like even Damon was the one that inspired me to get on stage, but he wasn't the one who taught me how to be humorous.
Exactly.
I got that from Richard Pryor.
Right.
I got that from Eddie Murphy.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So it's like as a kid, I learned because I used to go to school reciting Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy jokes in school to all my friends.
I did too.
Who
I did
they
too.
didn't even
I
know
did
where the
Eddie
fuck.
Murphy, right,
They
where
didn't
the
even know
jokes
where I
come
was getting it
from.
from.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
before Eddie Murphy Raw came, it was Delirious.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know that. Before I saw Delirious, I heard the album first.
Right.
It was the album before I saw the actual
Film. The movie, yeah.
So when I was listening to the record, man, a lot of kids in school just like, dude, where you getting this material from? Where you get this shit from? You know what I'm saying? I just reciting all Eddie shit.
Just stole this shit, huh?
He was like, catch up with yourself.
Ronnie still on that. Catch up with yourself.
Nigga, I caught up with my goddamn self. I tell
Ain't
you
nothing
that.
wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I caught up with me.
Hey, look. If you got to get checked by somebody, I'd rather got checked by
But
him.
if that's not the most profound line to give anybody, catch up with yourself.
Yeah.
How did
You gotta catch up with yourself before you try to compete. Don't even compare yourself to nobody.
Right.
I don't.
Nigga.
Me either. That's why I say.
yourself.
Catch
But
up.
yeah, you got to be
Catch up with
yourself.
yourself. That's my word for this week. Catch up with yourself. Everybody.
Oh, I'm so still in that.
Catch
Right.
up with yourself.
I'm so still in that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
used to actually perform. I wasn't even doing jokes back then. I was doing I was
weed?
rapping. No, I had a rap group.
Yeah, you was rapping. You good at rapping, man. I always wanted to tell you that because like you'll get on stage and just freestyle. And I'm like, this dude is really rhyming.
Because initially, thank you. Because initially, I was just a rapper, just rapping.
Nickname, Thief Keith.
I just love music.
But no, you know what? I believe every comedian
Gotta love music.
started as a rapper because I was a rapper. I was a rapper in the 80s. My rap name was Cali. Cali, and I got that because I was a big LL Cool J fan. And when he came out, I'm going back to Cali. I was like, that's my name, Cali. You know what I'm saying? I'm Cali, MC Cali.
That's genius. That's
Yeah.
genius.
So I mean, but with that saying that, when I was rapping, I was like I was the LL Cool J. I was that dude. I was that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wrote little rhymes.
Slow
too.
songs, slow love music and stuff.
You know
and
what?
all
I
that.
write my jokes like rhymes. I don't know.
Rhymes and jokes, music
But-
and comedians.
I write my
entertainers,
rhymes like
actors,
I
all under the
write my
same
jokes
flow.
like rhymes.
Jokes are like writing jokes is like a
We
songwriting.
gotta take
Yeah,
a
I'm
break.
songwriting. Yeah.
Songwriting.
We'll talk
jokes.
about that,
We'll
yeah.
talk about that. We'll get into it. Bump That Radio Live. Commercial break. Yeah. Yes, sir. We back live at Bump That Radio.
All right.
Sitting here with Chicago legends, B. Cole, JG in the
What's
building.
up? What's up?
Chi-Town legends.
Thanks
you
for
know what I mean?
having me, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As rumor would have it, Chicago, a lot of people say you have to leave Chicago to get on. You got to move to LA. All this.
You know
type
what?
of stuff.
Everyone from Chicago always put.
Yes, sir.
Everyone from Chicago always hashtag or push just a kid from Chicago. You know what my hashtag is, and what I put just a kid still in Chicago.
Damn.
And that's my thing. Just a kid still in Chicago because I'm still here and I'm still making things happen. Like I said, the internet makes the world small. You can be
Yeah.
in your living room in South Dakota and make something of yourself. So moving to another state, another city is not pretty much necessary anymore. You just have to do what you have to do and work what you have to work with right where you are.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm just a kid still in Chicago.
Still in Chicago. Because a lot of things they tell us is especially when you first start doing comedy or even acting, I imagine. For rappers too, I'm sure.
It's all the same.
You gotta move to LA. That's one thing they drill at it out here. You gotta move.
You gotta move to LA.
I think at first it's a little bit of sincerity in that because the times has changed right now. Like you said, you can do stuff different. You can do shit online, so that way you can flow with it, and you could do everything from the comforts of your own home, shoot, film, edit, do it all, and just send it out to the masses. Where then 25 years ago you couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that. You had to move where the action was, but the action is everywhere right now. Right. Imagine yourself move everything, pack up all your stuff, go out to LA, but then at the same time you're competing against somebody who just got discovered in their hometown way in Colorado, right, by the same agent that you're sitting in the office with trying to get some work. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, hey, I just discovered this dude right here in the middle of the country, and and they want to go with that person because that person is doing that thing where they are. Mm-hmm. Stay where you are.
Stay where you at.
Do what you do.
Create a buzz.
Everyone's on TV right now. Television, whatever. Everyone's on television. Your social media is your TV.
There you go.
Good point. Your phone is your TV. The minute you wake up in the morning, you turn that phone on, you got some viewers. That's your television.
That's your TV.
So it's like, man, people doing TV. Like back in the day, it was different because when you got on TV, that's all we had. When you got on TV, you was considered a big major superstar. But it's no difference from today with people putting themselves on their phone.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, be cool. We got Chantel from Ohio. She want to know what's the largest crowd you ever performed in front of?
Oh wow, the largest crowd I ever performed in front of. Let me tell you, I opened up for two major big artists, and I gotta say that Steve Harvey, when he was doing the radio here in Chicago, WGCI. He did a big show at the Airy Crown. And, that's when Steve Harvey, he was doing the radio. He's the man of many jobs. So he also had he was the host of the Apollo at the time too. Yeah. So they did an Apollo show here in Chicago at the Airy Crown, 5,400 seater. That place was sold out. Mm-hmm. And they sent me out there to open up for Steve, and I did it. That was one of my biggest performances there. But also too, I also did a show with Prince, the artist. Ooh. Yeah, man. 10 years into
Purple Rain.
Yeah,
naked booty friend. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So and that's a long story. That's a long story on how me and Prince met, and me end up doing a show with him here in Chicago, man. I really consider Prince. Yeah, I really consider Prince as a friend.
He called us a real legend.
Yeah. Because
he kicking in Prince.
Because here's the thing, I had a show that I did. If you know me, I always had comedy shows. I always produced my own shows, weekly shows, the whole nine. So I had a show I was doing weekly in Minneapolis, and it was me and a promoter there named D. Rich. Rest in peace. He's not here with us anymore. But D. Rich, we did a show there. We produced the show in Minneapolis, and as we were doing the show in Minneapolis, as time went on, I come to find out my DJ for that show was real good friends with Prince. And one night after the show, he's like, yo, man, what you doing after the show? I'm about to go over to Prince's house, man. You want to hang out? I'm like, what? Prince?
Who get to hang out with Prince?
So after the show, we went. It was like a Thursday night. We was doing it on Thursdays. We went to his house, and we hung out with Prince. And because the show was over at like 1 a.m. So we would with Prince inside the studio with him 2-3 o'clock in the morning, hanging out with him, man, and we really got cool, and we connected. And that was like 2 days before my birthday. My birthday is September 4th. So September 2nd, I met Prince. And then that November of that same year, he came to Chicago and he invited me to the concert, and I was on stage with him at the concert. It was me, Macy Gray, Common, and Prince, and we were all on stage. Then this was his after party. Prince's after party isn't nothing but another concert. You know what I'm saying? He does just another concert for exclusive people. So I think that was one of the best crowds that I've done, because I did the poem "I'm in Love with a Crackhead," and Prince did he played the guitar behind me. Yeah, when I did I'm in Love with a Crackhead, Prince played the guitar behind me.
Prince, nigga?
Prince, dude, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Me and Prince was really cool, and I consider him as a friend. And when he died, that really was a big impact on me because, man, hanging out with Prince 2 times that you can really consider yourself a friend. That was like,
that was second time kicking with you, my buddy.
Me and Prince grew up together.
Right.
That was my boy.
I used to go to candy store with Prince.
That's legend status. That's legendary.
Man, Prince kicked it, bro. Me and Prince kicked it.
So,
Nigga, you saw Prince real butt cheeks. Nigga, this nigga. It's a real.
Why you always gotta think butt cheeks when you say Prince, though?
You can't say Prince without thinking butt cheeks. Like,
I know he wore his whole ass out.
Right.
Prince was the first bad bitch.
That's why you gotta keep your day one friends. Day one friends around and tell you put some drawers on, Prince.
Hey, that's the only dude I know wear more mascara than your woman and pull her.
Yeah. Me and Prince hung out, man. We could, man. That's dude. Trust me. I went on the road with a lot of cats doing comedy. Like this is 31 years for me.
Prince.
31 years for me. Anybody you name, I possibly performed or had a show with them. Like Rudy Ray Moore, Dolomite.
You know what she'll do?
Right.
Me and Rudy Ray Moore, Dolomite, we toured together.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I toured with Rudy Ray Moore on the last of his days.
You know what she'll do to get next to Prince?
What would she do?
Kiss them buck cheeks.
See, like, I don't know about
she say slow. She say slow down.
Not
I ain't
both
kissing no
of them.
booty.
Not both of them.
You'll flash them though for sure though, won't you? Probably.
Probably.
Trust me, man. I perform with a lot of people who I consider legends today. People who you all see on the big screen today doing big things. Trust me, I've performed with them guys. I've had relationships of some type of acquaintance with them guys. Right. I remember when before Cat Williams did Friday, I was in LA and I come out of the Improv.
That's when he was the cat in the hat, right?
Yeah, he was Cat in the Hat, and he had no front teeth in his mouth.
What?
You know, yeah, Cat. All them fronts were not. You know, they fake.
Well, somebody knocked his ass.
I don't know. I don't know the story, but when I met him, what
happened to his teeth?
Yeah. I don't know, but when I met him outside the Improv in LA, he was outside passing out flyers for his show. And he
with no front teeth.
With no front teeth. He introduced me as himself as Cat in the Hat, and he asked me. He said, "B, can you do my room on Tuesday night? Because the Monday was the Improv. That was the Monday at the Improv. And then I was leaving that night. I was catching a red eye out that night. And he's like, I told him, I said, man, I'm about to leave tonight. And he's like, bro, B, can you please just, man, rearrange your flight and stay and do my room tomorrow night? And then, I don't know who this dude is. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he missing his front teeth and, the perm wasn't on point. And I'm like, hey, I got to go, shorty. And I left.
Damn.
But here's the thing.
Shorty.
But here's the thing. And cause dude, I ain't gonna lie, this the 90s. I'm BT Comic View. I'm B Cole at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he's at B, can you please stay? I'm like, dude, I gotta go. Okay. So here it is. Years later, I see Friday after next, and he comes on, and I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, this dude looks familiar.
Is that Shorty?
I said, that's dude. He's now known as Cat Williams from Cat in the Hat. And then look, let's check this out. Here's the funny thing. When I saw him again, it was at the BET Comedy Awards, the only BET Comedy Awards that happened. I think they did 2 comedy awards for BET, but it was this one time I was in LA and I ran into him. And when I ran into him, we had no words with each other. He just looked at me, I looked at him, and I gave him the nod. He gave me the nod, and we knew what it was. He's like, nigga, you played me. I'm big now. Proceed. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. And I just looked at him like, cool. So like right there was the lesson of like, you never know who's going to be what they be. Yeah, so you always got to be cool. And but at the same time, I was cool, but I just couldn't stay. I had to get back home to Chicago. I had to get back home to my family. I had a newborn, everything, stuff like that. So I couldn't stay on his behalf. I had to go. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But of course.
Well, he offered to pay you though, right?
I mean, we didn't even get to that point. We didn't discuss that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he was going to do. I just told him I couldn't do it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But bottom line, it was Cat Williams.
You turned Cat Williams down for
I
a
can't.
show.
He wasn't the cat at the time, but at the same time, but yeah, I did it. But at the same time, it was a lesson. But you know what could I do? I mean, I couldn't stay. My flight was ready to go. I had to leave the club and go to the airport. You know what I'm saying? And he asked me to stay, and I told him I couldn't do it.
Because I heard that you let me see, something about Kevin Hart's first show in North Carolina. Or
No. Well, here's the thing. When I did a show, now here's this the crazy thing about that.
You was headlining.
I was headlining the show at Caroline's in New York, right in Times Square. This is my first time in New York. Now, how I got that job. Now, that wasn't an easy job to get. Like Caroline's, you just don't get called to headline Caroline. Caroline's is one of the biggest clubs in the country.
That's what I read.
Now here's the thing. When 9/11 happened, 9/11, we all remember 9/11, okay? Now, with 9/11, that's September, 9/11. Now, let's go from that September to October. October, that first weekend of October, I was asked to come do Caroline's. And this is just fresh off 9/11.
New York City.
The reason why I got that job is because they originally had John Witherspoon booked. John Witherspoon was booked that weekend, but they knew they were going to take a loss because no one was coming out during that time during 9/11. It was a ghost time. Times Square was a ghost town. You know what I'm saying? And when they like, well, let's get a comedian who we can pay less and get out here. So here I am. I'm about to go do Caroline's. That's all that mattered to me. I'm about to do Caroline's. They was paying me way less money than they was gonna pay John Witherspoon, of course.
How much they pay?
But I got $1,500 that weekend. Okay. $1,500. But they was
good.
But they was paying like John Witherspoon $15,000 that weekend. So they knew that no one was coming out because 9/11 was just fresh. Right. When I got there, you could still smell ground zero. Ground zero was still burning. You still smelled the burning flesh and the hair in the air. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was out in the town. Man, you look at New York, them streets were bare. You know what I'm saying? But when I did Caroline's, Kevin Hart and Tony Roberts came, and Mike Britt, them three, Kevin Hart, Mike Britt, and Tony Roberts came to Caroline's to see me. And they were like, dude, how the hell you get Caroline's? And my agent connected me with it because of the John Witherspoon situation. They wanted to go with a smaller comedian. So I let them know, like, man, my agent got it. But Kevin, like I said, Kevin asked me that night. He's like, man, B, can I get 5 minutes, on stage before, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is before Soul Plane, all that stuff. This Kevin, I think he just did Comic View. Right. But like I said, we all alumni from Comic View. So we like high school buddies. Comic View was our high school. Yes. So when I saw him, I knew Kevin from Comic View. I'm like, man, go ahead, get your thing on. And then that same night, I talked to Tony Roberts about doing my movie A Get Together. Right with Tony, right with Kevin Hart sitting next to him. So I was just thinking, like, what if I asked Kevin Hart to do A Get Together opposed to Tony? That's crazy. But Tony did what Tony did for my movie A Get Together is what Chris Tucker did for Friday. Yeah, Tony Roberts is tremendously hilarious, without a doubt. Right. And I don't think Kevin could have done anything what Tony did for my movie. So I don't regret that decision. But it was just funny how you come against these greats that's destined for success in the future, and you don't even know who you're talking to. That's good. And like I said, and the first time Kevin Hart touched Caroline's stage was through my blessing of giving him 5 minutes on my show.
Wow. And that's one thing I love. Yeah,
that's just what it is.
That's definitely the praise break. Yeah. And that's one thing I love and I notice about comedy is the potential that it have, and the people and places we set in stone doing it. We never know. When you look back 10 years down the line, you be like, damn, I was the first one to put him on stage. And I was, the story is so funny. Like, Lil Real put me on stage for the first time. He passed the torch to my brother to become the host at Jokes and Notes.
Jokes and Notes, I remember that.
It's just always history, no matter where you look.
But you gotta realize, man, everyone starts from the beginning.
Yeah.
Everyone starts from nothing to get to something, but you're part of their story.
Right.
You're part of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If they decide to tell it or not, you're part of that story.
Yeah.
Kevin would never tell you the story I just told you.
Right.
About Carolines. He'll never tell you.
That got to come from you.
But that's my truth with him. You feel me? So, yeah.
Wow, man.
That's good.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Well, Bump That Radio. You heard it live here, firsthand.
Yeah.
Who's the first put Lil Rel in the movie?
Lil Rel.
You hearing it from the horse's mouth itself, my boy, the legend, B. Cole in the building. JG movie coming out.
What's up?
STD, Get Together, Seventh Heaven, and many, many more. Bump That Radio live. We back live at Bump That Radio, hip hop, R&B, smooth jazz, 872-766-2867. Ronnie Phunny George, host, co-host B. Cole in the building, legendary Chi-Town filmmaker, film writer, screen director, and all that, stand-up comedian. JG,
what's up?
Producing his first movie. I want y'all to check it out. STD, y'all.
STD.
Inspired by B. Cole with all the different movies he got.
Right.
And JG happened to be in one of his movies.
Yeah,
so that
well,
inspired him to make a movie.
And
so now I'm in between two movie makers. They got real movies out. Netflix, YouTube, Tubi, whatever.
Right.
Yep.
That
Got
is,
it going.
you know what? I might come out with a movie next. Come on,
There you go.
somebody.
Come on, somebody.
How you gonna be in between two? Come on, somebody.
Yeah,
But I think it's dope. I think it's
That's
wonderful that
inspiration,
he
baby.
came out with a movie because he was in one of his movies.
Yes.
And that's just how it goes, man. It just keep on circulating it for me. So
Yeah.
I just want y'all to get into some social media stuff. How can we find y'all? What's y'all next stuff coming up? Just give them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, social media for me, B. Cole Comedian on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook. I'm actually on TikTok as well. B. Cole Comedian. That's like J. Cole, BCOLE comedian, and find me on that. Also, too, my movie is on Tubi. My latest film, Heaven on 7, that's on Tubi right now. Starring Damon Williams and Terry J. Vaughn from the Steve Harvey Show. So make sure y'all go to Tubi, check that movie out, Heaven on 7. Then actually starting in 2023, we're doing a tour called the Bam Jam. That's with myself, Muhammad, Jeff B.
I saw that.
Jeff B. and Marlon Mitchell. So the BAM Jam is the acronyms of our names. That's the B and Muhammad, Jeff, and Marlon Comedy Tour. The BAM Jam Comedy Tour. So y'all make sure y'all look out for that.
So make
New Year's
sure.
Eve is our first show. But please follow me on social media, man. We gonna make it happen.
Right.
That's JG. What you got?
All
for
right.
us?
You can follow your boy on my page, Comedian JG. That's JAYGEE. I also got my movie STD coming out, so you can follow me on all platforms. So my regular platform is Facebook is Gerard JG Lewis, and then Comedian JG is Instagram and YouTube.
I can't wait till your movie drop. I also had a chance to star in his movie. He called me. I couldn't. Make it that day.
He couldn't make it that day.
JG called everybody because I couldn't do it.
I did.
I couldn't do it.
I did. I was like, all right. Well, I'm still finna make it. though.
you did it.
I'm
Yeah.
so mad because I really wanted to come, but the way my boot list set up, it was
Right.
it was different. But
I'll
I
put
really
you
wanted
part
to come.
two, bro. I'll put
So
you
he
part
finished
two.
the movie. I saw a snippet of it. You got my man Levi. Shout out to Levi.
Yeah,
You saw
I got
a
him
few
in it.
people in
Yep.
it. Dope movie, man. So it's a blessing to be a part of people who really doing big things.
And that's the
man.
thing. That's the thing, JG. The people you have in your movie, you don't know what they're going to be tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you setting a platform where you setting up you setting up successful a lot of cats, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the people I had in my first movie, I didn't know what they were going to be doing today. And they off doing big things. Look at Lil Rel, look at Deion Cole. You know what I'm saying? Look at them cats, man. So,
And you know what? And you know they love doing it, and I love having them in it. So
let me tell you this story. One story, real quick. If you look at my movie, A Get Together, which will be re-released as a new cut, it's called the cold cut version.
Oh yeah.
I 20 years ago, we're coming up on our 20-year anniversary for the movie A Get Together. But 20 years ago, I had nothing to do with the editing. So now I have all the masters and everything. So I'm doing it my way, and entirely different film. You guys gonna love it. Trust me. We just finished it, but it'll be released in January. But here's the thing: Kid Capri is in that movie.
Right.
If you all remember,
I seen it.
Kid Capri is in that movie. Get Together, and I didn't even know until Kid Capri called me one day, way after we did the movie. He called me, said, "B, you know, I just called, man, because I want to thank you for putting me in a movie. I worked with every comedian in the industry, and none of them asked me to be in a movie before." And he said, "You're the only comedian that ever put me in a movie." And I had to think about it like, damn, you right. I said, man, you know, you worked with everybody from Martin Lawrence to all the Kings of Comedy to Chris Tucker, everybody you seen on Def Jam. Kid Capri was right there with him.
Yeah. Yes.
But I was the only comedian, as he say, invited him to come do a movie, and I'm like, wow, that's cool, and I'm proud that I got him in my film.
Got
man,
that under your stamp.
I gave him his first acting debut.
Yeah,
you know, that's cool. Right. So y'all get a chance, man. Check out a Get Together when it comes out. The re-release, the original that was out. The original was out everywhere on Tubi. It was on Netflix. It was on Showtime, HBO. But that's been wiped off all the platforms to be ready for this new release that y'all gonna see of the new version of a Get Together. Get ready.
Right, and you got STD. You got STD. Hold on, it's coming out in the spring right now. We got a deal going on. I can't really say out loud, but it's gonna be out in the spring. It's gonna be real funny. So make sure you check it out.
Looking forward to it, bro.
2 writers, 2 screenwriters, 2 movie producers, 2 executive producers, stand-up comedians, all that. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Follow them on social media. I'm Ronnie Phunny, George Phunny with a PH on Bump That Radio. Just saying, stay tuned, man. We got a lot of big things popping, man, and peace out.
All right.
Bump That Radio live. Dang.